Hello everybody, this is Jeremy from SpraySync, and today I want to go through a new release that we have coming out where we added GPS offsets that you can use when you're setting up your sprayer. So I'm going to walk through here kind of what that looks like. So I've got a sample sprayer here. If I go in, you'll see kind of a dramatically different screen than what we had before. So the things that you'll notice that are new for existing SpraySync customers here, we've got a little left-right offset in feet that's up at the top, that's kind of associated with the vehicle. This visualization is actually trying to show more in relation to this orange circle, which represents where the GPS is at, and then the different sections that you have. So in this one, I've got section boom switch 1 is 0 to 10 feet. So all that type of stuff stays the same as it was before. You'll see that section is highlighted. If I click on 2, it'll highlight the next one, which is a 10 to 20 feet off to the right. And if I click on 3, you'll see that's 20 to 30 feet off to the right. So at this point, if you'll notice, like if you jump in there, everything will be kind of defaulted to 0. What this left and right offset really means is, instead of, for the most part, if you have your GPS and it's in a tablet in the middle of your vehicle, and maybe your booms actually start spraying off to the right of the sprayer. So if you had a sprayer like that, we would typically come in and when you would set up your booms, if I go over to switch 1, instead of being from 0 to 10, which effectively means 0 is centered on the GPS, we would typically, if it's starting off to the right of your vehicle, we might have like a 4-foot offsetter in there. So you might instead, if your first boom would hit, 4 feet or just kind of to the edge of your wheelbase, we would typically have something like that where, in here it would be like a 4 to 14. So it'd be a 10-foot swath, but it'd be starting at 4 and end up at 14. So what we kind of decided to do is that, that can kind of be hard to sort of ripple the math through sometimes, where in like an example, like a North Star setup where there might be eight boom sections, and the first 3 of them are 2 feet wide, and the next 2 are 4 feet wide, and they're 6 feet wide. Then you kind of have that offset you've got to ripple through, and in reality, everybody kind of knows it's from like 0 to 2 feet for the first one, 2 to 4 feet for the second one, another 2-foot swath, 4 to 6. But then with that offset, it's like it would be like, okay, it would start from 4 to 6, and then 6 to 8, and then 8 to 10. So anyways, what we have here to sort of make that easy is that we can add an initial offset where this sort of represents, all of these will have this offset baked into it. So in that case where, let's say I'm in the middle, I've got my GPS in the middle of the vehicle, and my sections start off to the right, this would be that situation. So we're saying our GPS is sort of set off here, and our boom sections start there. So instead of having offset by 4, it'll be offset there. So to make this easier to see, I'm gonna make it a little larger than it would probably normally be, and I'm gonna bring up, I've got the tablet here, so I updated that. So with this sprayer setup with the -10 offset, and I've got 3 sections, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. If I jump into the app here, I've actually got a sprayer set up here, and I'm going to go ahead and turn on switch 1. You can see in my setup in here, I've got it 0 to 10, but it's actually with this -10 offset, it's starting 10 feet out to the right. And then next one is 20, 30, and 30, 40 technically off to the right from the GPS. So I think this is going to end up simplifying some setup, but really I don't think this is the most common sort of GPS change that will be needed. So in addition to left and right, probably maybe something that's more common is that your boom sections are maybe set off to the back. So your GPS is up in the middle of the cab, but your boom sections maybe are off the back of your vehicle. So in that case, we also have, if I go into this first one, and I set this, we actually have a offset. So let's say you're spraying and it's 10 feet behind. So if I go to all these, I can go and say, okay, each one of these is actually 10 feet behind where the GPS is at, and that's where it starts. This is pretty common. I mean, this is for a lot of our customers would have this. So this is, again, the orange is where the GPS is at, and this is saying, kind of in reference to that, this is being behind. So we've got these 3 sections, but they start at 10 feet behind. So if I come over here, again, I'm going to hit sync, and you'll be able to see all this stuff just as usual. If you go into the vehicle switch config, you'll see the setups a little bit different UI screen. We kind of did an upgrade there, but it's pretty much the same thing. You've got the 0 to 10, and then the -10 is that offset, and this is where you can edit that global offset. So if I come in here, so now when I turn switch 1 on, you're going to see it starts behind. There's definitely a gap there, right? You see it spraying, but it's starting behind. Same with 2 and same with 3. So really, of these sort of 2 different types of offsets, that left, right, and the front back, I actually think that the front back here can really be something that most people add immediately, and it'll improve the accuracy of where that spray section starts. We know the GPS can only be so accurate, but if we get closer, if we at least give it that information about where do our booms start, then it's going to start being even more accurate for folks. So this is really an optional thing. Everybody you'll see, if you go in here, you'll see that you have these offsets, but they all default to 0, which effectively is the same thing as what we have set up right now. But feel free if you go in and change those. And then the one thing I would say to just remind is that isn't something that always comes in as quickly syncing as the spray sections do while you're spraying. So if you come onto the web here and make a change, which it's a lot easier to visualize here, so I definitely recommend that. But if you make those change here, just come in and hit the sync button, and that'll make sure that the new offsets get in. And if you want to ever confirm, just to make sure that everything got in, you can come here and kind of confirm those settings. So this being 0 to 10, this is just what it was before. It was just the 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. But now this extra little piece is this forward and after offset. So, and also if you happen to have your boom section that's out in front, maybe it's off the front of your vehicle, you can do the same thing. You just would put a positive number that would say how many feet out in front of the GPS does my boom section start. So we're hoping this will be a great change for everybody. And this is in release 11.1.0, which should be in the App Store, and encourage you guys to download that and try it out. Thanks.